Hey friends, Crash here, and today we're gonna talk about such a thing as a counter pick. And I'm sure each of you is subscribed to 2 or 3 YouTube channels that release all kinds of videos every week, like tier lists, best champions of the patch, top champions for every lane, and so on. Yeah, I'm guilty of that as well. But what if the champion you wanted to play is picked by the enemy team? What do? Do you leave the lobby? Do you give up? Not really. Today we'll talk about the best counter picks to the strongest champions of the preseason patch 9.24b. But before we start, a couple of words about the new stuff at MoreLegends.com. Just for you guys, we created a learning course that consists of more than 60 video guides covering all the vital topics and providing in-depth knowledge of the game. This is literally all you need to know about League of Legends to start playing better right now. So what actually waiting for? Go to MoreLegends and check for yourself. With this mandatory bit of self-promotion out of the way, let's start with the top lane. Mordekaiser has been dominating his opponents for a while, and the first counter pick you can use is Fiora. It's like Fiora was made to counter the strongest champions. She can lane against Mordekaiser, Irelia, Kled, Aatrox, Cho'gath and other champions whose gameplay is based on CC spells. Fiora can parry that spell, stun the opponent and then end the fight in her favor due to her mobility and ultimate. Fiora is a great duelist. She has fast wave clear, high damage to structures and powerful scaling. In a good matchup you can get the lane priority and create pressure in the side lanes, forcing your opponents to defend. Or you can join teamfights and stomp the enemy team. However, don't pick Fiora in every game, she is weak against many non-meta champions. Malphite, Poppy, Nasus and some others are not the opponents you want to face during the laning phase. Another counter pick for the top lane is Rengar. Top lane Rengar was reborn after the Conqueror rework in this preseason. Now he deals too much damage already in the early game. His Q spell is extremely powerful, while W grants Rengar sustain and amplifies his dueling potential. At the same time, this champion scales into late pretty well. After winning the lane, he starts roaming with his ultimate, ganking other lanes or the enemy jungler. In the top lane, Rengar can abuse his passive. He occupies the brush and leaps on the opponent whenever they try to approach minions. High damage and heal allow Rengar to win any trade. So, what champions does he counter? Firstly, Mordekaiser, Fiora and Aatrox, who can hardly catch the agile cat. Secondly, such scaling champions as Scale and Gangplank. And finally, Akali, Irelia, Cannon and Gnar. And moving on to the jungle, and here we have 2 fatties who can easily counter meta junglers. The first one is Nunu, who I mentioned in the strongest champions tier list below Warwick. Nunu counters Lee Sin, Ekko, Elise, Kayn and Warwick. Nunu is an unkillable farm machine. He clears camps really fast, makes effective ganks, has high map mobility and decent 2v2 potential. He's good against Lee Sin and Elise, as he is a powerful counter jungler. He's good against Kayn, as he counter jungles even better than him. And he is good against Warwick, as he has a better control of dragons. During the game, Nunu gets even stronger, turning into invulnerable tank with tons of utility. The next jungler on our list is Mundo. Mundo was originally created as a top lane anti-mage tank. Riot have been systematically buffing this champion, however he is still a better jungler rather than top laner. If you need to counter jungle Diana, Elise, Evelynn, Karthus, Taliyah, Ekko or Syndra, yeah, she's a meta jungle pick and of course we have a guide on that as well. Then pick Mundo. He's a tank with high health regeneration who can absorb tons of magic damage. Mundo works great against immobile targets. He has high movement speed, permanent slow from cleavers and infinite sustain. Mundo is an excellent tank for his team and a worthy jungler, but don't forget to choose the approach velocity rune. Next, mid lane. These champions can be played both mid and top. The first one is Cho'gath with Glacial Augment. If you need to counter Akali, Fizz, LeBlanc, Syndra, Malzahar, Diana or any other mage or assassin, pick Cho'gath. Glacial Augment and GLP 800 give him slow, so Cho can land his Q, then silence and GG. The CC chain works not only in duels but also in ganks and teamfights. Cho'gath himself is incredibly thick and killing him is an extremely difficult task for assassins and mages. After 2 AP items, Cho goes tanky combining Gargoyle Stoneplate with Warmog's armor. These items increase his ultimate's true damage and make Cho'gath a huge threat to enemy carries. If you need to counter a champion with physical damage, take Malphite. He has high base armor, which mitigates incoming damage, while Malphite himself can be called a mage champion. He counters such heroes as Zedd, Talon, Yasuo, Qiyana, Irelia and others. You build Luden's Morellenomicon and Zhonya's Hourglass, max Q and constantly poke your opponent. Bonus armor from W and your passive can help you win trades. At level 6 you have a reliable engage tool, that is your ultimate. The W spell resets the AA timer, so use it to your advantage to surprise the opponent with your burst damage. Mage Malphite can easily kill the enemy backline, but you have to mind your positioning. With AP items, you have low defense stats, so don't get exposed to incoming damage. Bot lane. And the first marksman I'd like to mention is Tristana. She counters Ezreal, Varus, Kai'Sa, Misfortune and even Aphelios. What's her advantage? Well, mobility allows her to dodge skill shots and ultimate abilities these champions are based on. Besides, she has high burst damage, push potential and a long range in the late game. A duo with Nami, Zyra, Taric, Bard or basically anyone who can support your initiation with CC or engage themselves. With such a matchup, you'll easily get the lane priority, and even if you don't kill your opponents, you'll surely destroy the enemy turret and rotate to another lane for further pressure. The second max person is Ashe. Take her against long-ranged ADCs. Ashe has a high AA range and slow, so such champions as Caitlyn and Aphelios with Calibrum can't force aggressive trades. She also works great against Caitlyn, Jinx, Senna, Xayah, Kai'Sa and such low-ranged marksmen as Ezreal, Lucian and Vayne. But it's not that simple. Ashe has no escape tools and is extremely squishy, so positioning will be your biggest concern. One false step and you're dead. On the other hand, Ashe can track the enemy jungler with Hawkshot, which is also useful for her team. And finally, supports. I recommend that you try Blitzcrank. This robot counters such ardent supports with sustain as Senna, Karma, Nami, Soraka, Sona and others. Vel'Koz and Xerath, who have no escape mechanics, are also an easy prey for this guy. Of course on condition that you can land hooks, but it's easy, let me teach you how to do it. Just hover your cursor over the target and press Q, there you go. Blitz has fairly simple mechanics, so there is nothing more to add. And the next support is Zyra, a mage with CC. Zyra counters such engaged champions as Thresh, Senna, Morgana, Rakan and Pyke. The Thorn Lady has effective disengage tools and quite a few of them. At the same time, she can initiate fights and punish enemies for mispositioning. Her plants cover you and your marksman from enemy hooks and skill shots with CC. Zyra has a high push potential, low mana costs and huge damage from plants. As for cons, it's hard for her to not push the lane. So if you need to freeze the lane, well, it can be difficult. Otherwise, it's a great fight mage with a good scaling into lane. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for today. Make smart counter picks and never give up. Pretty much any game can be won. On this note guys, as always, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel and of course good luck in your solo queue.